Welcome to the Undefined Leader, where we reimagine leadership, redefine work, and get curious. Today, I'm curious if I can stump Derek. We're going to play a game called What Leadership Style Is It? And that's how you have to say it.
Game show style boy.
Yeah. All right, Derek. So here's how the game goes. I'm going to say a sentence, and you're going to have to guess what leadership style might be most likely to actually say the sentence. And there might be multiple, and we're going to start easy, and it's going to work our way up to hopefully stumping you.
I'm nervous.
Ready? Okay. Sentence one. I don't care how you get it done, just get it done by Friday.
Okay, that's good. My first instinct on that is to go with the laissez-faire style. It's there's a little bit of hands-off approach to how you're going to do it on the laissez-faire style of the leadership. There's autonomy baked into that. There's a hands-off approach, but that kind of hard deadline there attached to it means it's a combo. So there's a little bit of like I said, a laissez-faire. Like you can figure out how you want to do it, way that it's get done, but that hard deadline makes it a little bit autocratic. There's like no negotiation on that piece. That's a very non-collaborative second piece. So it's a mixture to me of laissez-faire and autocratic.
Do you think it could also be transactional at all? Like, I don't really care. The only thing I really need from you is for you to get this result done by Friday.
I would all It's getting close, but for it to be transactional, there would need to be then a consequence or a reward, like explicitly attached to it. There could be like a hint of a threat there, I guess, of
Or
maybe,
else.
yeah, or else. And now we would get into transactional, but I wasn't quite there yet on it. It's just, like I said, there was a bit of hands off approach combined with um, a little bit
Authoritative.
of do what I say.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, there's no right or wrong answers. So if I like your answer, you get a point. That's how this game works. Okay, I think that makes sense. Next sentence. Let's take a vote from a subcommittee and circle back.
Let's take a vote, huh? So we're getting to the a democratic type of a style, a bit of a participatory type of style as well. Those are very similar, but yeah, that's definitely the democratic
I
style of
agree.
leadership. Yeah, you're
Very
outsourcing
democratic.
your
Yeah.
decision making.
As long as you hit your key performance indicators, we're good.
Again, it's similar to the first one. Like it's not pure in there because now that is hinting a little bit more to a transactional style. And transactional is more of an umbrella that covers the other styles too. You can be transactional or transformational with different styles. So again, it's like a transactional laissez-faire leader is kind of like what I would
Yeah, this one
yeah.
seems more transactional than the first sentence we said,
Yeah,
for
because there's a
sure.
threat.
Yeah, there's a threat. It's not a very safe environment if a leader is saying, as long as you're hitting these results, we're good. Like that is definitely an or else. And it's definitely transactional because to me, it says, I only hired you to get this result. And if you're not getting it, then you're going to be in trouble.
What's interesting about that one too is it's laying the groundwork of a conditional leadership style. Like you'll get the nice leadership style as long as you do this. So it's not only transactional in that way, it's like transactional too with like you pick
The
the
emotion.
type of style you get from me. As long as you hit your things, you'll get my nice style. And if you don't, you're gonna get my not nice style of leadership. I'm gonna switch styles on you.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that could create such an unsafe environment where people are on edge all the time, being like, you know, I have to do my job perfectly and can't fail, or else I'm going to get the wrong side of Alex.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Scary.
micromanaged or whatever the threat there is.
Okay. I've made a decision, but I would love to hear what you would have said.
That's a good one. Uh, it's like to me this is funny because to me this is an autocratic leader who's trying their best to be a little bit more participatory and collaborative.
Mm. You said it better than I did. I was going to say it's autocratic pretending to be democratic.
So we're
Like
on the same
you're
page.
pretending. Yeah, yeah. Like I made the decision. No matter what you say, we're going with my decision. But I'm curious, what would you have said? Like
Yeah,
you're just like doing it just to do it. Like say
it's
you
funny
just
how you
say it.
said like pretending versus mine was like, maybe they've had some feedback of, hey, if you want buy-in, you need to be a little bit more collaborative or participatory. Or they've had like they sat in like a little leadership training of like how to be a little bit more like collaborative and sort of like, okay, fine. So that it's like they want to be that autocratic, but they're trying their best to utilize a different style there.
Okay, so let's pretend that's the scenario that someone's like core is autocratic, but they got feedback and they're trying to be a little bit more democratic and a little bit more taking other people's opinions and so on. How could they rephrase that sentence?
Well, I think they could leave out the first piece of it.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the
Right.
situation. I'd love to know your thoughts.
Yeah. And then even though if they have kind of, made a decision or opinion or mind that you don't need to say that because that just that kills the collaboratory. It's like, well, if just tell us, like yeah, like just cut to the chase, right? On here, you're like, you can just leave that out. Like, hey, we've got this and I'm open to ideas or feedback.
All right. Next up, I want you to take full ownership of this project. But before you employ anything, run all those decisions by me.
Uh, Again, it's kind of like someone trying their best. It's someone with like again a bit of like an autocratic tendency or desire trying to wear one of the other ones to there of like trying to do their best to be a little bit more laissez-faire or a little more hands-off or a little less micromanagey, but they're not quite
Yeah.
there yet.
It's almost like they're giving the illusion of you have autonomy
Yeah.
and I want you to take ownership and um I'm going to like put this on you whether it goes good or bad,
Yeah.
but I don't trust you to actually make the right decisions. So I need to micromanage and control you and I need to be the bottleneck to through the decision kind of thing.
Versus instead of ill-fittingly wearing a style that you're trying to get to, that would be a great opportunity with that one to use the coaching style. Because I think that's like ultimately what they're, to use your word, pretend to be there, right? Because it almost like sounds like someone who's trying to mentor, a little bit, or like trying to not be the bottleneck, right? Trying to like build someone else up to be the leader. So it would be better to just utilize the coaching. Like, what do you think we should do? Like, how, and kind of like help them come up with the solution versus just pretending, or trying their best to not be autocratic.
Yeah, I mean, they could also set better expectations and be like, "Hey, Derek, here's a new project, and I want you to take full ownership of this.
Mhm.
Let's talk it through. Here's the situation. What's your game plan of how you're going to approach it?" And then that way, like, if I don't feel comfortable yet and trusting you with this big project, then it's like something that we can talk through and then you can even put milestones like in between and check-in points in between, and then coach them through it, versus having you actually do the work and then using me just to approve or deny. That's a little bit more like micromanagement and controlling the situation. Because also, what message are you giving by what if I didn't accept everything? And what if I tweaked everything that you sent me? You're giving the message of it wasn't good enough. And so that's why it has to go through me.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Ready for the next one?
I have.
Okay. Let's brainstorm. No bad ideas. Unless it's Gary's spreadsheet.
Is the jerk leadership style? Is that a leader? Is that a leadership style of doing the jerk here or the bullying the bullying leadership style? Of course, like the context is important here too because maybe that is kind of like the culture there, and it's not harmful in any manner. Like that's kind of just how they give each other a hard time, with the culture. And there's a bit of like collaboration there, maybe with a little bullying or a little being a jerk.
So, how you can make that sentence better is just don't say the last part.
Yeah.
Just no bad ideas.
Yeah. Again, unless it is like something very fitting for it's a team that's worked together for
Sarcastic.
Yeah, they've been together for so long, they know each other so well, there's high levels of trust. That's the kind of humor, that like you'll hear from like military units, or things like that, where they're very high trust amongst the unit. Even like sports teams will talk that way with each other, and it's actually out of like kind of like respect and being like it reinforces the team aspect. So there is kind of like some value there in the right scenarios. It creates stronger bonds to have that type of humor with each other. But most workplaces, it's not going to be appropriate. It's not going to work too well.
Pressure makes diamonds.
God.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. That's a good one because there's, I think, a couple of different styles that could make that statement. It is ultimately transactional, right? It's a transactional viewpoint of this is your reward. You get to be, I'm gonna, deal with the stress and deal with the chaos and deal with everything, and you're gonna be a diamond. You're gonna, come through it. It's transactional. It's telling you like there's a reward for all the horrible stuff you have to put up with. It is also just a very top down, low empathy, autocratic thing to say. Of like,
Could it
it's
be
tough
that
to deal with it.
they're trying to be transformational, not transactional? Like it's more transformational. Like I'm doing this for your
Imagine this
benefit.
opportunity
Like I
to
just
become
need
a
to put
diamond.
more pressure on you, Derek, and you're going to transform into a diamond. You're going to be better off because of it. But it ends up being a very like top down approach of going about it too.
Alex, stress is a privilege. What are you complaining about?
Back in my day, okay. If you want something done right, do it yourself.
Autocratic, smug, right?
Jerk again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the jerk style, definitely very non-collaborative. That's old school. Like we could just call it, that's just old school. A type of thinking and type of style, which is still, even though it's old school, it is still a very prevalent thought that a lot of people have.
Unfortunately, with almost every sentence we said so far, we had something negative to say about it. But the reality is that is what's happening. And I hear one of these sentences at least at minimum once a quarter from random leaders or people that work in a team, and they come back and they're hating their job and they're telling us about their meeting with their boss. And it is to this day still something that people say out in the world. And so we have an episode where we talk through the different leadership styles, the history, where they come from. So I think it's easy for us to make fun of this and have a game out of it. But at the same time, I think it's important for us to have empathy towards understanding where people are coming from and why they're saying it. Like you said, it's old school, like the way they were raised and the way business was done then was different and expectations were different, and doesn't mean it's acceptable that you should stay in that place. And hence why we have a podcast. We're reimagining leadership. We're all growing, and I bet there are things that you and I have said, Derek, recently that we're going to look back on and say, wow, I can't believe I said that. That
Yes.
is like, yeah, absolutely. Are there any by the way, you won the game, good job.
Thank you.
I don't think I stumped you.
Those were
Are there
good. Those
any
were really good.
Yeah, they were good. It was fun. Are there any sentences that you hear a lot recently that, like, just either rub you the wrong way or you're like, "Wow, that was actually a really good leadership sentence."
There's something that I've been thinking about. There's like some that on the surface could be good, but I think like when you kind of know already like the leadership style changes the context. Because like Alex, if I said to you the sentence, "This is the most important thing that we could be working on," or "This is the most important thing that we've done," what type of leadership style am I using?
I think it could be a few different, like, it's a mixture, of it could be a visionary, someone that's trying to sell the dream, someone that's trying to get my buy-in of like, this is the direction we're going and it's the most important thing that we could do. And that's like their way of storytelling the vision of where we're going. It could also be like a pace setting leadership
Mhm.
style where it's like creating some urgency and creating a pace to like why it's super important. Those are the two that came to my mind.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think it could be transformational, right? It could have that, even if there's a little flavor of like, yeah, we're going to do something that's never been done before. It could be like transformational in nature, right? Versus transactional. But yeah, it could also be bureaucratic, right? It could also be like it's just tasks, and things like that. It could definitely be pace setting. So that's funny too, how like I've been thinking about it a lot. Like the same sentence, could be interpreted a little differently depending on the style of the person that's saying it, right?
Depending on the context, depending on the body language, depending on
Mhm.
the tone, depending on the environment that you're saying it. Is it one on one? Are you saying it in a group setting in front of everyone? Or there's just so many different scenarios and we just took our best guess.
Yeah. How about this sentence? I'll turn the tables on you with this. Alex, if I can do it, so can you.
I mean, it depends on the tone. So it could be like you're coming from it as in a like coaching style where it's, hey, I learned to do it and I believe in you and I trust in you, Derek. So I know you can do it. So it could be in a positive way that way. And so coaching, transformational, it could also be authoritative. So like, Derek, I hired you to do this. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah. It could be a little pace setting. Like the pace setter likes to lead by example, right? So like, look, I did
I
it.
did it.
Yeah. Now you do it as
It
well.
only took me 2 days. You could do it.
Yeah.
You got this.
What about something like, with the team that we have, we should only, allow excellence, or we should only win with the team that we have.
I mean, that could be, again, some kind of pace setting in a sense of like you're creating a baseline of this is excellence and anything below it is not acceptable. So
Mhm.
it could be a little bit of that. It could be transactional. I hired you for this reason and I expect excellence and nothing else. A little bit of authoritative, like there's no perspective and there's no room for error and judgment. Definitely not coaching style, definitely not necessarily like transformational, but also it could be if the tone is, I hired this team because I believe in you guys and we can have excellence. We can be excellent in everything we do. Let's talk about how we can get there and how we need to grow. Like there's a little bit more context there, but reality is if someone's saying that sentence is probably not the latter.
Yeah, and I think there's another style that we haven't mentioned today that one can fall into as well, which is the charismatic style, where it's energy, it's the vision, and all those things of like, just look at this team, just look at what we could accomplish
Mhm.
together, right? And it motivates people, and they kind of feel like that charisma on things, and so it could also be the charismatic side. One more, because ultimately this kind of falls into another one that we haven't thought about. But again, with the context, it could be different things. But what have I said, Alex? Let's take a step back and let's just make sure that this fits like the bigger picture and our bigger vision. What type of
To
style
be
we
like
have?
that visionary person, like someone that's really focused on the future, the mission, the purpose of what we're trying to do, strategic.
Yeah, there's a strategic style. So I think it's the strategic style.
What am I missing?
I think it's transformational also, right? Of sort of like let's um the transformation, right, is like big picture and more longer term. Like what are we all just trying to be, or what are we trying to move towards, and are we accomplishing the right things in the right way? And that, I think that also kind of falls a little under the transformational, that type of approach.
I think we won. High five. Well, this has been What Leadership Style Is It? And comment on this video with what sentences you've heard, and let's see if you guys can stump us. And we'll respond back to your comments and say what leadership style we think it is. Hope you guys had fun.